You're listening to the Midlife Edit. Think of this as your remix for midlife strength, mindset, and living unapologetically. I'm Jen, your host, and together we're making this chapter not just good, but a damn good chapter. This is the Midlife Edit. Hey there, and welcome back to the Midlife Edit. So, another confession time. I had a completely different episode recorded for this week. I was in my feels. Last week was rough for me. Actually, the last few weeks, I just haven't felt myself. I felt like I am somebody else looking in on me. And I know that if you are in perimenopause, you know exactly what I'm talking about. It's really hard to describe, but you get it. You know, your feelings are all over the place, your emotions, everything else. So I had this whole episode talking about Christmas expectations and letdowns and all this stuff. And then I listened back to it yesterday and I was like, holy shit, this is depressing. It was just heavy and whiny. And I sounded drained. And honestly, it didn't sound like the woman that I'm becoming or the woman that I'm striving to become. So I deleted it. Because that version of midlife, that storyline, that everything is overwhelming and falling apart narrative that I'm guilty of putting out there, I don't want to keep feeding that. Because the truth is, midlife isn't what it used to be. So today, we're going all in on empowerment, on energy and influence, and on culture. Because, my friends, we're going to talk about something huge. Midlife women are running culture right now, and we're nothing like the generations before us. So let's just call it out. For decades, for as long as, I guess, TV or newspapers or things like that were around, midlife women were portrayed as bored and tired and cardigan-wrapped and sexless and domesticated. Think about it. The Golden Girls were supposedly in their 50s, and we're around the same age. But we're at concerts and we're lifting weights and we're hosting podcasts and traveling and building brand new businesses and reinventing careers and ourselves. We're going to therapy and wearing leather jackets and Converse. And meanwhile, TV used to portray midlife like it was the beginning of the end, right? And that's why I say all the time, midlife isn't a crisis, it's time to edit. But don't even get me started on the 1950s housewife stereotype, that unhappy woman who lived her entire life for everyone but herself, but she still had to have the dress on and her hair done and the lipstick on and the high heels when her husband got home from work. And I get it, they were on drugs back then, and that's what got them through the day. But come on, that era is so over, you guys. We're not the women who shrink. We're not the women who fade out. And we're definitely not the women whose identities disappear once the kids grow up or life gets busy. You know what we are? And what we should be so damn proud of? We're the first generation of midlife women who refuse to disappear. Because we're taking back our lives. We're rewriting the script. We're full of energy and aliveness more than ever before. Unless you're in perimenopause. And then you get bursts of that energy and aliveness. But your mind, right? Your mind is full of that energy and aliveness. And you want to be this amazing person because we're not aging out. We're aging into something so powerful. Look around. The industries have caught on. Every major wellness, beauty, entertainment, fashion, fitness brand, they're pivoting towards women of our age. Why? Because we're the ones shaping the culture. And this isn't a theory. This isn't just something that I thought of. It's real time. We're driving the trends. We're defining what matters. We're choosing what sticks. We're not watching culture evolve. We're leading it. And this is amazing because this moment belongs to midlife women because we're unlike any generation before us, right? And I talked about it before, that we're the analog to digital bridge. We grew up without cell phones and then we adapted to smartphones. We lived through finding our friends on bicycles and going home when the streetlights came on, and memorizing our friends' house phone numbers, and MySpace. And now, TikTok. But then we had dial up, and now we have Wi-Fi. We had CDs and cassette tapes, but now they're streaming. So that makes us a mix of wisdom and curiosity, nostalgia and newness, experience and energy. We know who we are, but we're still willing to evolve. And that makes us unfucking stoppable. So here's the proof that midlife women are the cultural heartbeat. We outspend every demographic in wellness. Every demographic. We revive strength training and protein culture. We dominate podcast listenership and creation. And we're running TikTok. TikTok, the app that was built for Gen Z, that was Musical.ly, that was just supposed to be these teeny, ready for this word, teeny boppers, bouncing around and dancing to songs. We took it over. We're the reason that 90s fashion is back. We're keeping the concert industry alive. We are the core of skincare, beauty, and lifestyle markets. We are leading the better, not bigger movement in health and home. We're not background characters. We're the main characters. Let's talk about these trends. Let's sit back and I told you, yeah, sure, we're taking over TikTok, but if you've got teenagers in your life, right? Particularly at this point, girls, preteens and teenagers who are on the TikTok and social media things, they're being influenced by, most of the time, it looks like people their age, but behind the scenes it's a woman in midlife, right? With the skincare brands and the sweatshirt drops and things like that. But who's buying those for those girls? We are, right? Midlife women, we're the ones who are making all the purchases. So we do drive the trends. I really wish that you guys would get with me and drive them to be cheaper and not $89 hoodies, but we're the ones who buy things for our families, right? So not only are we driving the trends for ourselves, but we're kind of shaping what the next generation is doing. And let's talk about music, because this is the clearest sign of our influence. Who's showing up to concerts early? Who's buying the merch? Who's traveling for the shows? And don't get me wrong, I know plenty of men out there are traveling for the shows, but who's doing the planning? Who's emotionally attached to their favorite brands from high school like it's a religion? Hi, it's me. I'm the problem, right? No, but seriously, it is me. It's us. We're the ones curating playlists and crying during encores and traveling for music and building community around the soundtracks that shaped our lives. And I truly mean that, because if you look, okay, if you're not a Dave Matthews fan, number one, why? But number two, we have this amazing community, and there are plenty of men in this community, so I'm not saying it's only women. But this community full of middle-aged people who have just gotten together over their love of music, right? And there's, from one group, there's a ton of different groups that are branched off. There's a DMB fit community, so it's all about the people who want to be fit and get healthy. There's posters. Dave Matthews posters are big, but there's a community full of posters. There are swag swap communities. So like these women are creating these beautiful pieces, whether it's jewelry or lunchbox. I mean, like anything that you can think of, there's some kind of Dave Matthews merch with it. But they're creating these because, yes, it's nostalgic, but it's also, hey, this is what I can do to create this community and belong. And this is what I love. So I'm going to showcase it, right? There are sober communities in the Dave Matthews community. There are women's only and dating communities. And I mean, you name it. And there's something out of one band. And if you don't like Dave Matthews, I get it. So let's think about Taylor Swift, okay? Look at all the Swifties. I I don't have the statistics. I'm not saying that I do, but I would probably guess that the majority of Swifties are around our age. And look at the things that they've built, the communities that they've built, and the things that they've done. We're not aging out of culture. We're fueling it. And those are just two examples of bands, but look at any other band and look at kind of who the people are that are going to the shows. It's amazing. So now, the part I really want to talk about, we are allowed right now, we are allowed to set our own trends. We don't need to follow the aesthetics or the vibes or the expectations of younger generations. We are the aesthetic. We are the Pinterest board, right? At this age, you wear what feels like you. I talked about it when I went to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Did I have on my 90s jeans and my Converse and my flannel around my waist? Hell yeah, I did, because that felt like me. You lift what feels powerful. So we're a generation of women who said, I am going to be strong when I'm going into my 70s and 80s. It's not time for me to sit down. It's time for me to stand up and do all these amazing things that I want to do. Just because I'm getting older doesn't mean that I'm done. You say what needs to be said. Women are more powerful now because they're speaking up more, because they're not afraid to say what's on their minds. They're not afraid to stand up for things that they believe in, things that are right. And then you try the hobbies that make you feel alive, right? I mean, go back a couple episodes. Louisa Sweden, her hobby turned into becoming one of the greats in motorcycles and motorcycle riding. I mean, whether you think it's a silly little hobby or it's something that turns into a business, you're doing this. You're using your creative mind. And you stop the blending in, right? And you stop apologizing and you stop needing permission. Following trends is cute, but setting trends? That's fucking badass midlife energy. And that's what we're doing. And the best part, here it is. We finally realize we don't need anyone's approval. Not the internet, not the PTA, not coworkers, not cousins, not strangers, not the imaginary audience in our heads, not our parents, not our siblings. One of the greatest gifts of midlife is this simple truth: I don't need to be understood to be valid. Once that lands, everything shifts. You stop performing, you stop over-explaining, you stop shrinking, and you start living. And ironically, the moment you stop caring about approval is the exact moment everyone thinks she's magnetic. Think about it. How many of you have put up boundaries in the last few years? Whether that's with work or family or friends, when you put up those boundaries, you feel powerful. When you stop caring about the little things that you used to care about. Now, don't get me wrong. We are human. We are human beings. We are women. We do care what people think. But not to the point where it's going to control our lives anymore. You want to wear the outfit? Wear the outfit. You want to dye your hair pink? Dye your hair pink. You want to get a new tattoo? Go for it. You want to stand up for something that has been so wrong in your community, in your life, whatever it is, but you've always been afraid to because you're afraid what other people think? Stand up. Speak it. Because we only have one life, right? But now we're unstoppable. We can do hard things. And you don't have to fit into culture. It doesn't have to be one thing or the other. It doesn't have to be, oh, okay, well, my aesthetic is a clean girl aesthetic or Ralph Lauren Christmas or whatever it is. You don't have to fit into that because you can create your own. Midlife women, we're cultural architects now. We remix, we refine, we choose with intention because we're not trying to be cool. We are cool because we're real. I don't want to be fake. Like I said, I had this other episode recorded and it wasn't fake. It was real. It was real and raw, but it was so whiny. And I was just like, yes, we go through hard times. And yeah, Christmas can be so hard because we set unrealistic expectations of everybody else. And then on top of that, we are worried about finances and buying the perfect presents and planning all of the things. And, it can weigh you down. But a whole episode on it, you don't need to hear about how depressing it can be. Maybe we just decide this year that I'm not going to put expectations on anybody else. I'm going to buy the presents that I think I should buy, and if people don't react the way I think they should, well, that's not their fault. That's on me. And, if you are a woman who is part of a blended family, you know how hard that can be because you feel like you're constantly competing. But, at the end of the day, step back and think about when you were growing up and think about the things that you actually remembered. Did you remember that Mossimo hoodie? Oh, that was a brand that I just pulled out of nowhere that I haven't thought about in a while. But that Mossimo hoodie, or did you remember the weekend that your parents took you ice skating? Those are the things that I'm trying to remind myself of. And I know I went off on a little tangent, but I did want to kind of throw in there what my episode was about. But back to creating our own culture. We can do this. We can create the culture that we want. And if nobody else wants to be in it, that's okay. That's what makes women in their 30s, 40s, 50s, and 60s super fucking fascinating. We're expressive. We're original. And we're unbothered. And if you're not there at that unbothered feeling yet, you'll get there. And if you are, but then you regress, that's okay too. Because I feel like that's how I've been lately. I feel like I'll get these big bursts of energy and excitement, and then I'll want to rip somebody's heads off, right? And I know, look, honestly, I think my hormones are kind of all over the place again and I'm getting blood work done, but you know what it feels like. But also, when you think about the things that I'm talking about right now, the fact of the matter is, midlife women rule the fucking world right now. Seriously, think about it. Just step back and take a look around and see, yeah, maybe there is a man CEO who's in his 60s and acts like he's running the whole thing, but right beside him is that VP who the company would fall apart without her, right? She's running that shit. Look at in your everyday life, look around you and look around all these badass women who you can't even tell that they're in midlife because they're dressing how they want and they're setting their own trends. And how cool does that feel? As women, as this group of human beings who have been suppressed in the past and are now coming to their own light, now it's game on. Nobody can stop us for being who we truly want to be. It's so liberating, it's so freeing, it's so exciting. And if the trend that you want to set isn't a trend that anybody else wants to follow, fuck them. Be you. Do you. Because honestly, at the end of the day, those other people, they're not going to be there. Sometimes it's just how you make yourself feel, right? And this is an exciting thing to talk about because I do think that we are getting a lot more credit now, but we're not getting nearly as much credit as we deserve for doing the things that we're doing, for starting the trends, for for being the people that we're truly meant to be, for not tucking our tail between our legs and not, putting on our muumuus and our big glasses and our short gray hair and sitting around and giving up. Because that's what midlife was for a while, right? You just looked and you were like, oh, I'm old now and I can't do this because what will people think? I'm too old. Fuck them. We are in our prime. This is the most exciting time of our life because we've lived life, we've had experiences, and they've shaped us to the point that we are right now, but we get to choose. We get to choose who we are. We get to choose the trends that we want to follow or the trends that we want to set. And it's super exciting. And I think that coming into 2026, having this mindset of I'm the trendsetter, I'm in control of my life, I think that's not a resolution that you should have for New Year's. It's a lifestyle that you should set for the rest of your life. So here's your challenge this week. Set one trend, just one. Wear something bold, lift heavier, start a new hobby, go to a concert alone, or even a movie. Post a thing that you've been scared to post, whether it's a video or a picture of you. Try something new without needing applause. And that friends, I'm gonna tell you, that one's hard for me. I am that person who likes the applause. I like the likes and the pats on the back and everything else. But one thing that I really truly learned from doing this podcast is I'm not doing it for anybody else but for me. And it feels good. So if I don't get the likes or the follows, it's not the end of the world. I'm proud of myself because I'm doing something that I want to do. Do this because it feels like you. One trend, one moment of liberation, one spark. And if you do that, I want to celebrate you. I want to create a space or a community for women in midlife who want this energy. Women who want to live boldly and take up space and lead and create and express and reinvent and actually have fun in this season. Book recommendation, actually, because as I'm talking about this, right now it just popped in my head. And if you follow me on social media, I did a video, I think yesterday, about the author Taylor Jenkins Reid. And she has, the 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo and Daisy Jones and the Six, which is, oh my God, probably one of my top favorite books. But I just finished the book Atmosphere. And even though it was set back in a time where women weren't allowed to do a lot of things, and it was the first women astronauts that were being talked about in this book, holy shit, is it inspiring and empowering. So get your tissues ready because it's an emotional roller coaster, but go check out that book because it's fantastic. Fantastic. So have fun in this season. Be who you are. Set that fucking trend. Let me know about it. Maybe I'll jump on the trend with you. If you felt something during this episode, if this made you think, okay, well, I'm going to stop wearing the French manicure and get that black set of nails that I want, or I am going to stop wearing the traditional jeans and shirt and I'm going to wear that punk rock dress that I've been waiting for. Don't wait. Wear it now. Don't wait for a special time to wear that glitter or that makeup or that special dress. Do it now. If you felt something during this episode, if you feel this spark, if you're ready to be part of something bigger, come find me. Because we're not the Golden Girls. Although they had some really, really great one-liners, right? Laugh all the time. But we're not them. And we're definitely not the 1950s housewives. We're not disappearing. We are fucking defining this era. This is our era. Ours. This is ours to take. Midlife women are powerful as hell. Because midlife isn't a crisis. It's a cultural renaissance. A rise. You're not fading. You're igniting. You're not irrelevant. You're influential. You're not slowing down. You're stepping into your power. I want to tell you, I am so proud of you. I see you all out there. I see you out there setting the trends and stepping into the people that you are. You're stepping into your power. You're not slowing down. So keep that momentum going. Midlife women run culture. And we're just getting started. Keep it going. Keep that momentum going. Send me all your favorite trends. Or maybe something that you want to see come back. Or maybe something that you want to see, come to fruition. You want to talk about it on the podcast? Send me a message. Let's have a chat. Ladies, we're just getting started. We run this world. So until next time, let's make it a damn good chapter and set a trend while we're at it. You've been listening to the Midlife Edit, your remix for midlife. Remember, we're making this chapter not just good, but a damn good chapter. Want more? Join the Midlife Edit Insiders group on Facebook for deeper conversations, grab the curated playlists to fuel your comeback tour, and check out the merch that lets you wear your midlife with pride. Everything's linked for you in the show notes. And until next time, keep living bold, strong, and unapologetic. This is the Midlife Edit. Let's make it a damn good chapter.